The only constant in Chad's childhood was the turmoil his mom brought. She struggled with drug addiction and fell in and out of abusive relationships. All the while, he and his sister Wendy watched their mom destroy her life.
A lot of people don't know the hurt laying in bed saying, man, why am I going through this?
It broke my heart that he had to defend my mom all the time because he was just a young boy. I mean, that wasn't his place. And especially defending her over things that were wrong, things that she was doing that was wrong.
As a young teen, Chad knew the police on a first-name basis. He was constantly fighting off his mom's abusive boyfriends. Yet one afternoon, the fight was more than his body could take.
He had my mom up against the back wall of the living room with his fist clenched like this. He'd been beating on her. And I remember as he heard the door, he kind of looked over his left shoulder and locked eyes with me. And when he realized it was just the 14-year-old son, Chad, he kind of smirked at me, gave me a kind of disgusted smirk and laughed at me and finished what he was doing.
As Chad stepped in to defend his mother, the man unleashed his anger on the helpless boy.
And all I remember thinking is, man, I just want this to stop. I just hope it stops.
The man beat Chad until his rage was satisfied. He dragged Chad, bruised and bloody, to the bedroom and left him there.
I didn't have a parent there hugging me, holding me, helping me through it. I was completely alone, and I had no answer in my life. I remember thinking to myself, you could end this. What are you going to tell your friends tomorrow at school? What excuses are you going to make up? Why don't you just end your life? Why don't you just end it? Why don't you just call it quits, kill yourself, and be done? As I turned around, there was a Bible, black King James leather version Bible laying on that nightstand. I remember I had a feeling of hope rise up inside of me. And I was holding the Bible to my chest, and I was inside desperate, saying, God, if you're real, Lord, just help me right now through the situation.
That night, Chad surrendered his life to Jesus Christ.
I said, Jesus, give me peace. I said, Jesus, give me peace. And within 15 minutes, I was sound asleep.
His mother's destructive addictions didn't go away. But from then on, Chad was armed with hope that went beyond human reasoning.
When I had accepted Christ, I still battled real-life situations. The truth is, the only peace that I ever had in my life came from the Lord. And when I felt Him rescue me.
With a new sense of purpose, Chad pursued his dream of playing basketball. He went on to play for the University of Pittsburgh. His junior year, Chad led Pittsburgh in scoring and rebounds.
I began to realize that this dream that I had from a kid, it's about to be a reality. That this is really going to happen.
Chad went on to play professional basketball in Spain, averaging nearly 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. At the height of his career, his life took a drastic turn.
I feel God saying, Chad, you worked all this time for this, but I'm calling you to do something greater.
Chad walked away from million-dollar contracts to follow the new direction God was taking him. Chad started Inspire. As a motivational speaker, Chad shares with teens the greatest message of hope.
It's really special to see that God can take something that people would say there's no way this can work. Your destined statistics say you're going to be another statistic. Wendy, you're going to be an alcoholic. Chad, you're going to be a drug addict. There's no way you're going to make it. And be able to see the hand of God restore those relationships to where it's healthy and God's able to move in our lives.
Because of God's healing power, Chad and his wife Christy can raise their children in a home filled with the peace he found in Christ. And his sister Wendy, she's happily married and teaches her 3 girls at home.
I cannot imagine where my brother would be, where I would be if we didn't have God.
You got one life to live, and when I think that God could restore a situation like this and make it healthy and now be able to see that my children's life will be totally different than what I've experienced, it's only because of God and the restoration He's brought in our family.